15 minutes to recant, to renounce those aggressive, malicious and insightful statements uttered against His Highness Umukuuka nga wahu apologizing within 15 minutes. Whatever shina mulia shimuli, we shall not be responsible. Kubanga honafu chili sa mundu na rurayo awambira Umukuuka muluna mululimita. The submissions made by the Honorable Musira John as very subjective remarks and absolutely very misleading to this community. I challenge him to recant those statements, to renounce those statements, and make an apology to His Highness Umukuuka within 15 minutes. Nga saa 15 minutes sitawe shina mulia shimuli. Wabeleo wewa nga wabeleo ni romeso bani nayo. Hopirisa hori the address of His Highness Umukuuka is a very visible address. Is a very visible address in this system. Isu chenda kumutihenyi wa hororien watyayo walumoro Umukuuka netsirano indini romeri ikhayinzina hunano humoyo nafe khwalo muhoro wanyala wacheniro munano Umukuuka we shall really for recording purposes I wanted to clarify ngane somere Honorable Musira in the business of using media to insult and undermine the leadership of Umukuuka is not acceptable. Therefore, hemsomele number Umukuuka 0772 450 928. Unyalawa mbesimu 1 apologize ngesi Umukuuka. 2 if you have any other issues umulome umubolere umwe guidance on phone. Nehutsa rambisa ku social media to incite babandu befe fefe khubona kumutambo na. For the record, a member of parliament under Article 79 of this Constitution, 1 and 2, more primary roles, so who legislating for this community. Other roles, monitoring of government projects, oversight, etc., and appropriation of the budget. Echechimile muchese nemanya ndi bandu be namisindwa East, obanga ne baranga bari bulo East, chese bawa umusahulu nani, umusahulu John Musira hutsa hukolana legislation ne Musahulu is abandoning his official duty murera kumugatia husawani watandire huambira Umukuuka munana mumana mumurulimi bamushirimi, which we find a little bit very uncomfortable as far as we are concerned. Isesenga spokesperson kumutambo kumamba nabinga nabone mundu busa kwa mulondire kwa wasile mu parliament mufache hukolela bamasaba aro yaha mu Umukuuka. Indian video, I'm losing weight because every other time I'm doing media interviews to defend the cultural institution against those that are paid. Balionga bakani khabari nga ne barome aliso babaka khutsifora muhu bese narangeni dikula balaba ngoho bangoma, but I meant it. Ba ko ho ba ho mesena nekene muhome sesendi very honest. I'm trying to guide you. If you don't listen to me, you'll crash. Those dikulas want to undermine the leadership of what? Umukuuka. Hopilisa umwami Musira. He's not a qualified historian. I am a qualified historian. Bala beraka hobusa beraka hosi titles ubusabu nanunan. I am a qualified historian and I got A in history. So nga wasomile history ye babandu befe 1902 bazungu nga balisire hono bamba bahola under through orders in the council but and who taking over administration of Eastern Uganda oriola mutu 13 bachisubenyo barayoting we are not going to accept bana baganda banan bachifu be baganda, but we don't want baganda chiefs here balonda bari babami bari umwami we siku kanda what have you. So by 2013 to 15 junior bugisu agents chiefs babanga babahola bari nga babalonda nga wachira kusoma muna government gazettes 1926 even 23 which was a weekly gazette of government. It has all this information. Nga wachira hora mu 1962 constitution or 1962 elections ba dividing ebuchisi nenu nga bachiranga ebuchisi bara buchisi south or bugisu south, bugisu north, bugisu central. Baba later on mbo bahalomoni northwest or something like that. So hopilisa hori the word bugisu is not a creation of anybody. So we do not want Honorable Musira to come here, mislead our people. If he's not knowledgeable on the history of this region, he would rather shut up. If he's not knowledgeable on the history of this region, he would rather shut up. But coming here to create falsehoods, we shall not fold our arms as some groups of people are using the cultural institution as a punching bag. That one makes us uncomfortable, and all the cabinet of Umukuuka, we shall take a position to ensure that we defend the Umukuuka and defend Umukuuka. That's our work. Ili munda arroyo busa ora arroyo murira arubusa arheno mo homudomo ora arroyo busa wali abiri ora abetsa kalara arheno mako homudomo yuju arhemo mako arhemo mako spokesperson. We cannot allow anybody to make fun of us. Cultural space is for the cultural institution. We want to tell them keep off. It is our bosses are the clan chairpersons. Boss una inciting anybody rebels against the constitution of Uganda. Any attempt to malign Umukuuka, any attempt to align the gazette of government, gazette Umukuuka, you are fighting Umukuuka. We none. We batches. Ye messages ngadle mbole de babandu befe ibula fiyo kuri mbao na ba misleading ata. Government protocols and processes will be followed to ensure that sufficient guidance is given. As of now, we are on the right trajectory. Hulhunzire dan intuf. Umusahura abano muna di nwaf. But John Roscoe, awandi around 1900, missionary, and the bagesu of the hills, alome fifth, the bagesu wa hulanga real. So ngawaso mile bitabu biembaru. Umusahuru wa mimbi uwandiha. Aribaba andu betsebu chisu. Aribaba baranga bariba soyi. Mu 1830, mu 1820, nga aribaso awala ibuchisu. Arambise chigamba aribetse ibuchisu. Isu nga arambise muluzungulu anga achiholu, ruzungulu anga achiholu. They made an ingress into Bugisu. They made an ingress into Bugisu. So meaning, even by 1820s, 1810, this region was characterized or known as Bugisu. They made an ingress. Betsabari, Benjamin, Baribasoy. Yalo, Ibaruma Bari, when you read Wamimbi, and Dwale and others, one the heart of a fit hard. Ibaloma Bandu Bets, Baribabi Ramunota, Baribets. Luzungu, Nilujusu, you need to strike out the difference. When you say people made an ingress into Bugisu, that's 1820, Wamimbi writing and Dwale and others, and the Solomon Ingat. There was a board that used to write something like that. People made an ingress. I'm adding in Luzungu, now on Silom. Ingress means an entry. It's different from people passed via Bugisu. The Bangal Moro have rebuchuru more, Nanababi Rabaholarian. Never gained, never Jenevacolachi, never settling on. Abantu Najabasala in Baro around 1830, never later, Vasoi. But a group here, some 1835, Betsebuchus, Barabaro, Barbets of Pakabayum, Baba and West Bahalem, Balmu 1835, Babaranga Baranan, Barabaro. Baba and the Baribaza and Whale, best around 1860. But he butches, they are deliberate to use the word what? Butches. You know, in any writing, when you insist Bugisu, it means Bugisu was there at that time. Whereas the people can be Bamasab. But this community is called Bugisu. When you look at the coordinates, Umukuuka mudom, Ngarari, anyala wavu gawola honi nisi ngula bunya samu alo kamonkolita ishabule ngo Umukuuka ali amelelanda niko emsatsi moto hobo kuba China, because that's where the boundary is. So balomba wo Umukuuka wola ku boundary huhu watie na itairi river bari na niyo na ibulambuli yata yo there's a river there is ubirand wabira out obo unjira mbasebe. So holi ni boundaries is wakam is ohalozo Umukuuka na we for you litso go tie Kenya the other time muna babolanga go tsagosela go na speaker na ma yo hola holo aha even when Umukuuka up to Kenya ne holelo aha kwatu ya basir hale babi khatsimundu munani mu Uganda hozo hotsedi basir hale basesa basu tsimundu holelo aha batsi bihenan ina ilo aha because banyabe njira in another sovereign state nga amudita no. So what's in Nabonga backward na Ray, so who pits about and befe Bamasab. Mundu ahaba mislead, nobody should mislead them. Holibasa Hulunga Musiroyu, baruriyo to mislead the community instead who right to guide what the community okunda aliona yona manjali na yiwa wachenda ku radio achenda huna manjali na oshaki manyisa oshaki wa manjali wachenda isi basikhile bandu ngane balume at the other time akhupa buse imaboneyo ariwena imabona nanufileyo ngana hutsa husikh awenza cultural space isa kana abone bara spreading a message kuba pilisa huri. That's a wastage of time. We are also trying to do mediations. I think since mediation, this will be another segment. Since mediation ngana embalomere hulini a number of issues. Umusahulu Honorable Musira niyo yo musahulu banga kimya hachatsire kimya hachatsire ni checho wade akibona tane fa kukibona washibona kukibona kubanga de umundu lero warura kimya ha abiri ali omwana wamba government at the age of 23 in the history of this country, I mean the history of Africa, abiri musatu watsunga government as so mundu nga wole 60 plus mbona ndi watso ile enough. So Honorable Musira aholile very disturbing statements nga zikholisa Umukuuka nga wewelo authority ihaliyo nga wahu conducting a research na ali ha very authoritatively against the cultural institution, against the person of the Umukuuka. Umukuuka ali mutwera ba media fana mwambirana Umukuuka is one. This is His Royal Highness Onon. This is His Royal Highness Sir Jude Mike Mudoma Umukuuka wabugisu Umukuuka webuchisu ali mutwera ne balomera litsendi iliyo muluzungiso ha gamba balanga bare axiomatic hahandu hali axiomatic is something that you don't dispute, rather is also something that you don't need evidence to prove. You don't need any legal, customary or any other evidence to prove. Ngabano bari God is God. Uromo rabaye nata aliyo nyare bararwera ko na yanwe manyen inse ye mucheniyeho. Ngawalo God is God, aba God. So we have what we call axiomatic. God is one. Umukuuka webuchisu is one because it's gazetted following the customs seba masaba, following the laws of Uganda. Nganelo madia that the president is also one. Axiomatic. So when they say God is one, of course baliyo ba believing abibuwele bibindi besaya kama bale ne bibindi abo bona bali nefe kwa amanya huru Umukuuka webuchisu aba mutwera. Umukuuka we etira mu process nyene kaniwa. I process nyene nga nero iromeringa balonde ne bahwesana. Bali hola mediation. Government ya acknowledge ngere tse muhole mediation mufunomo mundu wenywe. So hona fuchirisa umundu who is not part of the clan structures mubuchisu. Musira, my brother, elder brother Musira is not a clan chairperson, neither is he a delegate to the cultural institution, neither is he an advisor, because I think he's assigning himself the responsibility of advising Umukuuka, which we cannot totally dispute. Nenga, when you self-assign, ensure that you are objective. Iliye solango ori subjective discussion. Subjective. Media, you assist me. We have two issues. Holiness baranga bari his objectivity. Objectivity over rational, over reasonable in your submission and discussions. Iliye silomo isuba subjective. So in my estimation, I find the submissions made by the Honorable Musira John as very subjective remarks and absolutely very misleading to this community. I challenge him to recant those statements, to renounce those statements, and make an apology to His Highness the Umukuuka within 15 minutes. Ngasa 15 minutes it's our shina mulia shimuli.